What's up, guys? It's your boy Pep Fernandez from the Inland Sports Show. I just want to take this opportunity to say thank you. Thank you for your support over the last several years. In fact, we're going on year number 8 of the Inland Sports Show. It has certainly changed and evolved over the years, and you guys have been along for the entire journey. So thank you very much. We really appreciate it. We're on social media, so if you're already following us or subscribing, great. But you can also tell your teammates, your people at school, your family, your friends. There's the Inland Sports YouTube channel, approaching 2 million views. We got several thousand subscribers. We appreciate it. And make sure you share with other folks who might not be subscribing. Same goes for Twitter. We're on Twitter as well. And if you're looking for immediate results, breaking news, we post pictures and shorter videos. Check us out on Twitter. That's Inland_Sports on Twitter. And we're also on Facebook. Yeah, we're still doing Facebook. In fact, we live stream the Inland Sports Show on YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook. So if you're on Facebook, you can check it out there live on Wednesday nights at 6:05 p.m. We're also on the Gram, the IG. If you want to see pictures and shorter videos from a lot of the games and events that we go to, you can check it out on Instagram. So if you support us by following along on social media, thank you so much. And if you'd like to take that to the next level, Inland Sports also has a Venmo account. If you'd like to financially support the show, you appreciate the service we provide to the IE, you can do that as well. Again, this is just an opportunity to say thank you to all you guys out there who follow the Inland Sports Show. You watch the Inland Sports Show each and every week. Thank you guys so much, and the best is yet to come. Inland Sports.
Ready, watch this touchdown.
Yeah, hopefully.
Hey, what's up, guys? It's Pep Fernandez from the Inland Sports Show. Just a quick programming note. In the next couple of weeks and months, we're really going to put a focus on the Inland Sports YouTube channel. We got several thousand subscribers. We have over 1 million views. We're uploading new videos each and every week. So we're really going to point you guys, everyone who follows the Inland Sports Show, to the Inland Sports YouTube channel. We will still post on Instagram and Twitter. We're going to post a lot of pictures, maybe some shorter videos, but we really want to put an emphasis on the YouTube channel. So here's what we need from you guys. If you haven't done so already, make sure you are subscribed to the Inland Sports YouTube channel and give us a big thumbs up when you watch our videos. We'd really appreciate it. If you've subscribed, maybe tell your teammates, other kids at school, other coaches on your coaching staff, your parents, your grandparents. We'd really appreciate the more subscribers, the better. So subscribe and give us a like. And if you want to take it even further, there's now a thanks button at the bottom as well if you'd like to take your support to the next level and make a small donation so we can continue to bring you great sports coverage here in the Inland Empire. And what is up, everybody? Welcome to the Inland Sports Show. I'm your host, Pep Fernandez. We are live and amplified at Teen Vision TV 16. We appreciate you tuning in tonight. We've got more high school football on the menu for you. A little bit later in the show, we'll check in with Paloma Valley head coach Zach Dilly. The Wildcats off to a strong 2-0 start, 2 big wins, and a big game coming up against King. Talk a little volleyball. Chaparral, undefeated start to the season. Just won the Inland Empire Classic tournament as well. And we got all the good stuff, too. The Kin Sporting Goods must-see game, the Boost Top 25, all kinds of good stuff. But we're leading things off. This guy's done the show a bunch, and we do appreciate it. He's the head coach of the San Jacinto football team, Aric Galliano. And Coach, listen, man, I know you're working the beard right now. When's the last time you shaved? Last time you were clean shaven on the sidelines?
Probably about 2 years ago during the COVID season was probably the last time I did it. So I have a tradition. Usually I do it right before we go to school. It's the last time I get a haircut, last time I shave, and then not until we lose. And so the last couple of years it's been not until late in the season. So
I dig it. Well, Coach, listen, strong start for you guys. Couple big wins to open up the season. I know you got a big game coming up on Thursday against Chaparral. We'll get to that one in a second. But beating Rev, beating Heritage, I saw one of those games. You guys look very impressive. But what have you liked about your Tiger team so far through the first 2 games?
how hard they're playing. That's something that we've adopted a new philosophy of what we're doing at practice, and it's showing out on the field of giving maximum effort when they're out there, and it's showing on the field of how hard they're playing.
So, Coach, as you go into the next game of the season, and we make our way through non-league play, getting ready for what could be hopefully a very long and deep season for you guys, going through league play and into playoffs and stuff. Where are the areas for improvement still? Where would you like to see this team be better in the coming weeks?
Tackling, that's hit us a couple times. The first 2 games, missed tackling. Still missing on alignments defensively. Offensively, making some drop balls, guys taking their eyes off the things. So all the fine details that it takes for us to hopefully be a championship team, we got to continue to work on and try to get better every week.
Now, Coach, having seen you guys in person, one time so far this season, athletic and fast, even the guys up front, how would you kind of describe the way your team plays and where the strengths might be?
Like I was talking to you earlier, I think we're faster than we've ever been, top to bottom at every position. And we're playing an old school type of football, and, we're going to run the football and do it multiple ways. So it's just exciting. We have some guys that can make plays. They've done an awesome job of adopting the new system of what we're doing offensively, defensively, and in the offseason, and the kids are starting to flourish.
All right, Coach, I'm going to pull back the curtain just a little bit and share a personal story. So, I'll make this quick. This is not a long story. So,
Absolutely.
my daughter had a report at school, and they were talking about nature. And I said, hey, here's how you finish your report. You hit your teacher with some Nature Boy and ask her if she knows who the Nature Boy is, because if you're going to talk about nature, you got to talk about the man, Ric Flair. Yeah. You guys have a Nature Boy robe and a big, championship belt on the sideline. Where did that come from? How did this come about, and how do you get to wear it?
We've had the championship belts for the last couple of years. Big plays offensively and defensively, trying to get the kids excited to celebrate with their teammates. Then I was looking for a new twist, and in the off season and right before we started during camp, doing some research of all the Division I's of the turnover chain and all these Division I's doing a bunch of different things, and University of Memphis has their form of the Ric Flair robe, and I put it to the coaches, and the coaches go, "Oh yeah, that has to be it." So we searched it, and we ended up purchasing it, and the kids love it. They hustle off to the sidelines to get their picture taken and with the belt and have them putting the robe on. Yeah,
when I took a picture of it. And I sent it to my daughters, and I said, I told you, everybody loves the Nature Boy. Your teacher would have loved it in that report.
Absolutely.
But, Coach, Thursday night, short week, getting ready for the Pumas. What are the pros and the cons of working on a short week to get ready for a tough opponent?
I think it limits both of us of what we can do. We go in with our game plan, some minor changes that we'll make, or small adjustments that we need to make. Can't go in, with too big of a change from week to week. So it kind of limits what we're able to do, makes us actually work on the finer details of what we're doing of our base stuff to make sure that we're ready to go. And it's our second week in a row. And it's trying to keep the kids fresh. Making sure that they're ready to go on Thursday night. And, they can play to their best of their abilities.
Now, Coach, I've been looking at the schedule not only for this week, but every single week through the regular season, and there is a ton of Thursday night games. I feel like there's never been more than this season with Thursday night games. So I always ask the question, then, if you have a Thursday night game for the coaches like yourself, what do you do on Friday night? Do you go scout another team? Is it date night? You take your wife to the movies? Like, what do you do on a Friday night?
It all depends on what type of wife you have at home. Mine's she's the athletic director, so she gets it. Normally I'm out and about. But this past week we were able to stay home with the kids and, have dinner together. Because not a lot of time during the week that we're able to do that because my 7-year-old's now playing football. So we're running around and she's busy hosting other sports that are on campus. So it was a good time just for us to sit down and relax. And this Friday I'm driving to Arizona after our game. My son has a football tournament in Arizona, and so it's pretty fun to get to see him play. And so it gives us a good weekend. It also gives our kids time to rest. That's one of our big changes is we're able to control their rest. We don't wait for them to rest. We kind of push it on them because we want them to be as fresh as possible from game time.
Yeah, when you play at the Jack, it's a marathon. It's not a sprint because you guys are going to be playing hopefully deep into November, hopefully with a chance to win a CIF championship at the end. Coach Galliano, thank you for the time. I always appreciate it. Best of luck on Thursday against Chaparral, and congrats on the great start so far.
Awesome. I appreciate it. Yeah, everybody come out Thursday night, 7:30. Big game for our program. Taking on one of the top teams in the Southwestern League, now the Big Eight. So, I appreciate everything that you do for all sports in the Inland Empire.
All right, Coach, actually one more question. Do you have a Ric Flair woo? Do you want to give us a woo on the way out? Woo! That was actually really good. That was really good. Coach Galliano from the Jack, San Jacinto High School here on the Inland Sports Show. Thanks again, Coach. I appreciate it. That was Coach Aric Galliano from the San Jacinto Tigers here on the Inland Sports Show. All right, this will lead us right into our next thing, which is our Week 1 All-Stars coming out of the technically the second week of high school football, right? But technically Week 1. Coach Galliano hit me up. He's got a bunch of guys who are putting up big-time stats, so you'll probably see several San Jacinto players on this list throughout the season. But for Week 1, Dylan Gresham, 6 catches, 197 yards, 3 touchdowns. He balled out in that win against Heritage. How about Hunter Herrera? He went off against the Rancho Verde, 3 touchdowns through the air, ran in 2 more touchdowns in a big Blackhawks win. Tiger Bachmeyer from Murrieta Valley, almost 200 receiving yards, caught a touchdown from his brother Bear Bachmeyer, returned a kick for a touchdown. And yeah, somebody commented on YouTube and said, is his name really Tiger? Yeah, it's really Tiger, and his brother's name is really Bear, and they're really good. There's another great running back up on the mountain, Zach Gross at Rim of the World, 254 rushing yards, 3 TDs in the Scots Week 1 win, their first game of the year. And Jake Sins, 17 tackles, 5 for a loss, 3 sacks, a block punt that set up a touchdown for Temecula Valley, the Golden Bears. Big win in that rivalry game against Elsinore. So those are the Inland Sports Week 1 All-Stars. And just a friendly reminder that each and every week we will pick All-Stars. So continue to send us your stats. We can't be everywhere and see everything. So if you have a big game on a Thursday or Friday or even a Saturday night for high school football, make sure we see your stats because by Sunday night we are picking our All-Stars each and every week. All right, that's going to lead us into our first time out here on the Inland Sports Show. We will take a break. When we come back, more high school football. Zach Dilley, the head football coach for Paloma Valley. The Wildcats off to a strong 2-0 start. So we'll talk to Coach Dilley next here on the Inland Sports Show.
Hey, what's up, everybody? We are back here at the Boost Performance Center with this guy, the one and only Coach Ray Bass, the Boost man. And, Coach, in this gridiron question this week, a lot of kids are on social media. We have this new world of NIL, name, image, and likeness. What kind of advice would you give to parents out there that might have a kid, 9, 10 years old, that kind of might fit in this category?
You know what? I think that for that age group, the marketing, the NIL, those things aren't really important at all. The fact is, Pep, this process can't be invented. I've been working with youth athletes for over 10 years, and the real ones are always self-made. And what I mean by that is whatever they have, they've earned it through the commitment of being the best athletes they can be. So that process, that journey, or that story that they write, it's attractive because it's real. In reality, focusing on marketing kids at 9, 10, or even 11 years old is detrimental because it puts the emphasis on the hype, which is ultimately nothing.
All right, great advice as always from the Boost Man. And if you have a question for the Boost Man, Coach Ray Bass, for a future Gridiron question, make sure you hit us up on the DMs, whether it's Instagram, you guys are on Facebook, all over the place. So social media, that is Boost Training. And you might have your question answered by this guy, the Boost Man, Ray Bass.
Hey guys, this is Jason at Ken Sporting Goods. We're almost to 1,000 Instagram followers. Tell your friends, like us, come down and see us. Thank you so much for your loyalty.
There goes Madison. He's loose. Madison fighting for the goal line, and Alexander Madison has a Viking touchdown.
Everybody would do it. I am gifted. You gotta join the movement. That light inside of you is shining so bright. Just gotta dig deep, find it, embrace it, and let it shine. Gateway to heaven, open up. Just
Madison up the middle. He's got room. Leaps. Touchdown.
And when it comes to this life, it feel like I can't win. That's why I do everything with no strings attached. Oh, no strings attached. Oh, no strings attached.
Hey, what's up, everybody? We are back here at the Boost Performance Center with this guy, the one and only Coach Ray Bass, the Boost Man. And Coach, in this gridiron question this week, a lot of kids are on social media. We have this new world of NIL, name, image, and likeness. What kind of advice would you give to parents out there that might have a kid, 9, 10 years old, that kind of might fit this category?
You know what? I think that for that age group, The marketing, the NIL, those things aren't really important at all. The fact is, Pep, this process can't be invented. I've been working with youth athletes for over 10 years, and the real ones are always self-made. And what I mean by that is whatever they have, they've earned it through the commitment of being the best athletes they can be. So that process, that journey, or that story that they write, it's attractive because it's real. In reality, focusing on marketing kids at 9, 10, or even 11 years old is detrimental because it puts the emphasis on the hype, which is ultimately nothing.
All right, great advice as always from the Boost Man. And if you have a question for the Boost Man, Coach Ray Bass, for a future Gridiron question, make sure you hit us up on the DMs, whether it's Instagram, you guys are on Facebook, all over the place. So social media, that is Boost Training. And you might have your question answered by this guy, the Boost Man, Ray Bass.
And we're back to the Inland Sports Show here live and amplified at Teen Vision TV 16. I am Pep Fernandez, still breaking down week number 2 of the high school football season, although we're technically 3 weeks into the year. Let's take a look at some of the top games coming up in week number 2. We'll talk more about Centennial against Mater Dei a little bit later in the show. Here's some other big-time matchups. We got the Jack taking on Chaparral. We just heard from Tigers head coach Aric Galliano. They're off to another strong start, and this could be one of their top teams ever at the Jack, at least in recent memory. Paloma Valley versus King. The Wildcats with a strong 2-0 start to the season. They beat Temescal Canyon, which is a rivalry game. Then they beat Moreno Valley. Going up against a King team who hammered Redlands this past week. And I think this King Wolves team is going to be a serious threat to win that league, that Big West Conference lower league. And Jason McMains has them going in the right direction. That should be a very intriguing game. We got Cajon taking on Williams Field from Gilbert, Arizona. And here's the local tie with Williams Field. We've talked about it before here on the Inland Sports Show, but the fact is, Steve Campbell is the head coach for Williams Field. His dad is the legendary Gary Campbell, former head coach at Norco High School. So Norco ties with Williams Field. In fact, Norco played them last season. But now Cajon will get a shot at Williams Field again against a team from Gilbert, Arizona. And the Cowboys started off the season with a big win against Harupa Hills. 34-0 the final in that one. And speaking of Norco, perfect segue right. The Cougars coming off a tough loss against Santa Margarita in week number 1. Norco gets the Coug, Rancho Cucamonga, and that's, at least on paper, that's a very great game. 2 strong teams, traditionally strong teams, and we'll see if Norco is set to bounce back and pounce on Rancho Cuc in a big way. Orange Vista and Vista Del Lago, another matchup featuring 2 teams starting off the season 2-0 with 2 big wins. I mean, the Coyotes picking up a couple huge wins, including against Hillcrest on Teen Vision TV 16 last week. And we've seen Vista Del Lago a couple times, and they look both very, very impressive. 2 teams that should be in the hunt for their individual league championships inside the Rain Cross Conference. Orange Vista now in the Ivy League, and Vista Del Lago in the Sun Belt League. We got Murrieta Valley and Apple Valley. I'll be honest, the Nighthawks had a great win against Great Oak, and they really put it on the Wolfpack. In Murrieta Valley, I think they're going to find their stride with Bear Bachmeyer at QB, Tiger Bachmeyer at receiver, a couple more Bachmeyers going through the program for head coach George Wilson. And finally, we put this game on here because these are normally two of the top, teams in the Inland Empire, traditionally very strong, Temescal Canyon and Ukaipa, but they have both started slow out of the gate. This could be a very big statement game for both of these teams to kind of right the ship, right? Get things going in the right direction while there's still plenty of time left here in week number 2. So I didn't put it on here, but Beaumont and Summit, that's another big game coming up in week number 2. And no, we did not forget Centennial and Mater Dei. We will talk about that game a little bit later in the show. All right, speaking of Centennial, let's check out the Boost Top 25 poll after week 1. So 2 weeks in the books, and this is how it looks. Centennial at number 1. And I posed this question out on social media because I want to hear what you guys have to say. Who is the second best team in the inland sports coverage area behind Centennial?
I think you can make a case for probably 6, 7, 8 teams on that list. Who is the second best team after Centennial right now? I don't think anyone's going to argue against the Huskies at this point, especially depending how they do against Mater Dei. Big win for the Huskies against Cathedral Catholic in the previous week, 42-7. But there is Murrieta Valley, Norco, Cajon, Aquinas, Roosevelt, the Jack, Citrus Valley, Vista, Murrieta, and Beaumont. That is the top 10 right there. And I think there's a lot of spots right there in the top 10 that are interchangeable, and we're going to find out a lot in the coming weeks. The Jack's going to play Beaumont. Of course, Vista, Murrieta, they're going to go head-to-head with Murrieta Valley. Norco, Roosevelt, Cajon, and Aquinas, they're going to play in a couple of weeks, so a lot will be decided in the very near future. Now, on the other side, Summit, followed by Kaiser. Can't wait to see those teams match up late in the season. But the Kaiser Cats with that impressive win against Ramona, 36-35, the final on Friday night. Close game. Orange Vista climbs up to number 14 because the Coyotes are red hot, man. They are fast, they are athletic, and they've got a great head coach in Greg Zomalt. And then as we make our way down from 15 down to 25, Eisenhower has cracked the top 25. Vista Del Lago and Paloma Valley both checking in at 2-0. And there is King climbing all the way up to number 19 because you got to look at the body of work the 2 weeks, man. King went toe-to-toe with Roosevelt, only lost by a touchdown. That was a close game. And then the Wolves come back around and they beat Redlands, I think, by 50. So King's a team you need to keep an eye on. King and Temecula Valley, that should be a great game when we look at league play down the road. All right, that'll lead us into our next commercial break. When we come back, we'll talk a little high school volleyball. Chaparral off to an undefeated start to the season, including a tournament title under their belt. Head coach Gale Johnson will join us next on the Inland Sports Show.
What up, y'all? Boostman here, gonna break you off with a quick 2 cent. Success is not the same as talent. The world is filled with talented athletes who never find success at anything. They believe that talent should be enough and blame everyone else when things don't go their way. Make no mistake, being successful starts with you being your best you. It's never being satisfied, creating new goals until you reach your personal best. If you're good, you don't stop until you're great. And if you're great, you keep going until you're unstoppable. And that is true success. Boostman.
CBU basketball is the most exciting sports experience in the Inland Empire and the best value in Southern California. See every dunk, every magic play, and every win inside the beautiful CBU Event Center, Southern California's newest NCAA Division I arena.
Because this hits home, man. He's the pride of the Rancho Verde High School Moreno Valley. That's Tyron Smith, big left tackle for the Dallas Cowboys. In fact, one of the best offensive linemen in the entire NFL, maybe of all time, you could say. But Tyron Smith tore his hamstring, man. And that just sounds like a very painful injury for a very big man. Hey, speaking of the Dodgers, one quick baseball note is the Dodgers beat the Brewers last night 12-6. But the pride of Riverside Poly, Austin Barnes, went off. He had home home run number 6 on the season, knocked in 4 runs for the Dodgers, who, again, have the best record in baseball. I sound like a broken record at this point, but they're that good. And when guys like Austin Barnes are stepping up and putting together big nights at the plate, you don't need your superstars to be superstars every night.
And welcome back to the Inland Sports Show, everybody. A big thanks, of course, to Aric Galliano, head football coach at San Jacinto. We'll talk a lot of football here on the Inland Sports Show, but try to mix in some volleyball as well. We got some great teams again in the Inland Empire. Coach Gale Johnson from Chaparral, always so generous with her time, joining us here on the show right now because the Pumas are off to an undefeated start. They've got a tournament title under their belt. Things are going really well. So, Coach Johnson, my first question for you is, great start to the season. Are you pleasantly surprised? Did you expect this? How would you kind of gauge the start to the season for the Pumas?
Well, I think we're starting off pretty strong, actually. We'll always take 7-0. We have a new setter, which is always difficult because your setter is like your quarterback, speaking of football. So she's inexperienced with this team, but she is picking it up quick. But we have some pretty heavy hitters. And so far, so good. I don't know how long we'll remain undefeated because we have a pretty tough preseason, but we'll see how it goes.
You know, and it's, Coach, it's not like you're going and playing some obscure teams we've never heard of. I mean, you've got wins against, Santiago, Ukaipa. I know you beat King. We'll talk about the tournament in a second. You beat King at the tournament. You've beaten some good teams. So what have you liked about the Chaparral team so far?
I like about this team, I like that they're all they work well as a team together. When things get tough, they decide to fight together. And so that's something that we've always worked on together at Chap, because not all teams are fun to play on. And so we work on having a really good culture. And so I like that they come together and that they're working hard when things get tough. Because like you said, at our tournament, our King match could have gone either way. It was 13-13. So when those things happen, you just hope for the best. So I like how they're coming together. I like how they're adjusting to a new offensive system and a new setter, and they're working really hard every day.
All right, Coach, you talked about keeping it fun and building that culture. How do you do that off the court? Do you guys go play laser tag? Is it movie night at Coach's house? Like, how do you do that off the court?
Well, as soon as we have tryouts, literally like the next day or two, we go to the beach for 3 days and we talk about our team goals, what we want to accomplish during this season, how we're going to treat each other. Just being a former player, I know what it's like if people aren't friendly, or luckily I was always on good teams, but you have to teach the kids how to be good teammates along with fundamentals. So that stuff is important. And plus, they're coming off of club, and club is rigorous and club can be stressful. So high school, they can learn and have fun, and it can be everything. And that's what I really want it to be for them.
You know, Coach, you mentioned club. I think the last time we spoke is during COVID, and club in the season were, crossing over, and, but now it's kind of back to normal and stuff. When you get these girls from the club teams, is it like icing on the cake? Like you're just trying to add to what they've already learned. They've already gone against some great competition. They've already probably played a ton in the off season. I call it off season, the high school off season. But when you get them, obviously, they're coming in. It's not like they've been sitting on the couch for 6 months. They've been playing and they've been going at it.
No, in fact, all these girls who you basically have to play club to make one of the programs in our league, because our league is so competitive. So no, they come in and they have learned a lot in club. But in our program at Chaparral, we still work on fundamentals every day, because if your fundamentals aren't strong, then you are not going to be consistent. And then if you're not consistent, then it's hard to execute when the game is on the line. So every day at the beginning of practice, we are working on fundamentals. And so those need to be worked on in club and in high school. So that's something that we always work on.
All right, Coach, let's talk.
That's a really good question.
Yeah. Coach, let's talk about your star, Bella Ritterberg. I mean, I think she was the MVP, right, at the tournament at Grand Terrace that you guys just won. What makes Bella such a special player?
What I love about Bella, what everyone sees in the community are her stats. And she is a fiery player. Like she hits the ball and everyone in the gym stops and watches, because it's so explosive, and she is so explosive and powerful. But what people don't know about her is that she is the greatest teammate, the nicest girl, is never unkind to kids who are not as skilled as her. She'll never give attitude to someone who's not playing well, or, because sometimes when things get intense and the pressure builds up and someone messes up, sometimes it's hard not to show frustration with that player. She will never do that. She never has done that. Even since the beginning, since her freshman year, she came in as a freshman being one of the most skilled players that we had. She's never treated anyone less than. She's kind, the best teammate, one of the hardest working kids in the gym. And I actually coached her when she was 10 and 11 and 12 in club. And so it's been fun to see her come full circle. So it's not just her as a player, it's her just as a person. I'm so proud of her. And one thing about the tournament, so Grand Terrace, we played at Grand Terrace, and their JV team was there doing lines and doing the book. Like, their whole team just sat and watched her play and cheered for her. And she took pictures with them. And I think she's friends with all of them on Snapchat or Instagram now, because she just took time and took pictures, and she just has the best heart. And so I love her.
So, Coach, I'm assuming, and I haven't seen this yet, but I'm assuming she wears the C, and it's not for Chaparral because she's the captain, right, of the team?
Oh, yes, yes, she is the captain.
So you've been around volleyball for a long time. How does it make your job easier as the head coach when, like, your best player is also, like, the best person and the leader and the captain on your team?
It certainly does make my job easier. And like I said, we really work on our culture at Chaparral, because so just being the head, I want a certain culture and the program to be a certain way. And with players like her, she has the same vision. We talk about this and what we want. If you come to Chaparral, this is going to be your volleyball experience. And so she shares that vision, and she makes sure that, hey, she holds people accountable, and she leads by example. And so she's just a dream.
I'm going to have to find out. Maybe she's like TikTok famous or Instagram famous with all those players wanting pictures with her. I guess I'll have to
I know, she might be. I don't know. But she's great. And you know what? She can dance too. Like, in practice, like we'll play music sometimes. She'll let it go. And it's impressive.
Then I'm guessing she's probably on TikTok, right? I'm not on TikTok, but from what I hear, everyone just dances on it. At least that's what I hear. Coach, let's talk about Southwestern League play. You touched on it a little bit. You know, you're mentioning, like, you got to play club to make one of these programs in the Southwestern League. We know that because it's so good. The level, the elite level that the Southwestern League is at. How do you see the Southwestern League this year, and where does Chaparral fit in there in terms of maybe, being in the hunt for a league championship at the end?
Well, I definitely think that we're in the hunt, but that's what's fun about our league. I feel like most of the teams are in the hunt this year. If you look at common opponents, Marietta Valley, they just played Santiago. They beat them in 3, and we beat them in 4. So on paper, Marietta Valley might be better. Great Oak is off to an undefeated start. Or Great Oak is doing very well. Marietta Valley is doing well. Vista is always good. So, and TV, you can't forget TV. So it'll be fun to see where it all plays out. I think it's up for grabs. So we got to execute, but it'll be fun. Whatever happens, it's going to be fun, and it's going to be a great experience.
And I'm just assuming all the girls probably know each other, right? Like through high school and club, they've probably gone up against each other quite a bit already.
Yes. A lot of them play club together. In fact, they know each other. They know each other's families. Yes, they know. They're very familiar with each other.
All right. Speaking of families, Coach, you're a volleyball family, obviously. You had daughters, playing volleyball, and now you got a couple playing in college right now as well. Has it always been like nonstop volleyball for you in your household? Has it always been volleyball, or did you tell your daughters, let's try basketball, let's try soccer? Has it always just been wall-to-wall, nonstop volleyball in the Johnson household?
Yes. Well, I currently have 3 playing in college.
Oh, 3.
And then
okay.
I have 1 at Chaparral. Yes. Well, I had my girls play soccer, until they got to high school, and then they just had to play club all the time. But because I wanted them doing something other than volleyball too, and I love soccer. I grew up playing soccer as well. But I had them play volleyball because that's what I knew. I wasn't going to force them to play it if they didn't like it. But that's I just think kids need to be involved in something, and that's what I took them to do, and it stuck. So, and I'm grateful because I think it's been a good experience for all of them, and it teaches them how to work with people and teammates and just all those great things that sports brings.
Yeah, it definitely teaches you about real life, right? Like you said, like getting along and having to cooperate and, authority. You got coaches, like all those sorts of good things about real life. And I will say this, Coach, and because I wanted to ask you, so my daughters, I got one who did gymnastics and then she went into cheerleading, and then I got one who's a swimmer, and I don't really know much about any of those things. So for me as a parent, it was easy because I'm like, I don't know if she did that well. I guess she did. It looks nice. But you being a volleyball coach, you try to step back and say, okay, I'm just going to be mom. I'm not going to critique everything. I'm not going to watch their college game highlights and tell them what they're doing wrong. Do you have to separate coach and mom, or is it all together? How do you balance that?
There was definitely a learning curve. When I would talk to them at the beginning, I started off being their coach, and then on the way home from practice, I would try to tell them everything, like break it down for them, and they would look out the window, the opposite window. Like they did not want to hear anything I had to say. And so I had to learn. I had to take a step back. And then now I just realize I have to wait for them to come to me. And when they come to me, I will tell them and give them any advice that they want, but they need a mom more than they need a volleyball coach. So I've definitely had to learn that balance. Even though I want to tell them everything that they need to know, I just have to, they need a mom first.
Coach, let's give them a shout out. Give your daughters a shout out on here. Maybe they'll be watching.
Definitely. Hi, Morgan, Elizabeth, Anna, Kate. I love you. I'm proud of you. Keep working hard.
She's going to text you right now about, your foot
placement.
Be
watching.
Yeah. Coach, you're the best. Thank you so much. That was a lot of fun. I do appreciate it. Congrats on the undefeated start. And I know you've got some tough games coming up, especially as you go into matches in Southwestern League play. So it'll get tough for you guys. But great start. Congrats on the tournament title as well.
Hey, and thank you for all you do for our community and the kids.
Thank you. I appreciate it, Coach. All my pleasure for sure. That is Coach Gale Johnson from Chaparral here on the Inland Sports Show, talking some Puma volleyball. When we come back, we'll talk a little more high school football, including that big Centennial versus Mater Dei game coming up on Friday. We will be right back here on the Inland Sports Show.
What up, guys? Boostman here at the Boost Performance Center. You're watching the Inland Sports Show with the one and only Pep Fernandez.
Calling all athletes. Make sure you're at your very best by training at Boost Performance Training in Corona. Whether you're a football player, soccer player, baseball player, lacrosse, athletes from all sports and all levels train at Boost Performance Training. Led by former Centennial High School football star Ray Bass, you'll develop explosive power, become faster, and add that lean muscle. Don't be left behind and get a leg up on the competition at Boost Performance Training. Visit boosttrainingsystems.com for information on their training programs and also on the Bass School. That's the Bass Alternative School for student athletes. Trying to earn a scholarship? Maybe make the varsity team? Get a spot in the starting lineup? Well, let Boost Performance Training help achieve your athletic goals.
I would say the one thing that we stress more than anything else is service to our customer. Make sure that they're taking care of whatever you can do to make sure that that order gets to them on time and it's the right quality and what they want. I've been that way since 1976. That was my goal, to reach out to local sports programs, and it's grown from there, and we've been very, very fortunate. My grandson is right over here. He's working for us, and he's going to college right now. And that's exactly what my son did 20-some years ago, and it keeps on going, you know. We have customers that come in the store that it's amazing. People that I haven't been here since I was a little kid, and I used to come in here all the time. And then now I'm bringing my son in here, or a grandpa that's bringing his grandson in here that came in here when we first opened back in '76. We just feel so fortunate to have been a part of this community and this Inland Empire for going into our 44th year now, and it's just been a blessing.
And welcome back to the Inland Sports Show, everybody. As you just saw, we're giving away 4 tickets to the Inland Empire 66ers every single week here on the Inland Sports Show, at least while they're in season. The regular season is coming to a close, just a couple weeks left, and then hopefully playoffs for the 66ers. Our big winner from this past week, Carlos Cornejo from Fontana. Congratulations, Carlos. Like everybody else this season, 4 tickets to any game to go see your Inland Empire 66ers. Congratulations, Carlos. And if you're watching the show right now, we will be giving away 4 more tickets this week. And again, as the season continues, we'll continue to give away tickets. And only a couple weeks left, so hurry up now because time is limited for these 66ers tickets. Congratulations, Carlos. And all right, finally tonight, how about it's the big game, not only here in the southern section, the Inland Empire, the state. All eyes across the country will be on Mater Day against Centennial. It's our Ken Sporting Goods must-see game this week. And listen, they've got a ton of history against one another, going back as recently as the playoffs this year. In fact, actually, they scrimmaged against each other this year. So a couple weeks ago, they played each other. Not really, but it was a scrimmage. But last year in the playoffs, Mater Day snuck away from Centennial with a 21-16 win in the D1 semifinals. Huskies should have had them. They had a couple opportunities. They had them right where they wanted them, and they let them off the hook. So will Centennial get a big win on their home field Friday night against Mater Day? We'll find out. It's the Ken Sporting Goods must-see game. Mater Day coming off a game where they survived against Bishop Gorman 24-21. It wasn't pretty, but the Monarchs got the win against a very good, highly ranked Bishop Gorman team. And Centennial went on the road down to Cathedral Catholic in San Diego, who's one of the top teams in the state, and they just hammered them 42-7, the final score. So big win there for the Huskies. All right, we've got some games you can find being broadcasted right here in the Inland Empire, including right here on Teen Vision TV 16. Let's take a look at the Teen Vision broadcast schedule for the entire season. You can see on that calendar. The next game up is the Rancho Verde taking on Etiwanda on Thursday night. And we'll make sure we tweet out a link to the Teen Vision TV 16 Vimeo channel. So if you'd like to check that out, you can live on Thursday night. Etiwanda and Rancho Verde. We also got La Sierra taking on Campbell Hall on Riverside TV. Beaumont against Summit on the radio dial. KMET 1490 AM. That is a big game between the Skyhawks and the Cougars. And also on 1490 AM on Saturday, the University of Redlands season opener as they take on George Fox. That's Saturday at 7 p.m. Don't miss it. My name is Pep Fernandez. We appreciate you tuning in. Shout out to our director, Johnny Nunez, behind the scenes here at Teen Vision TV 16. Stay safe out there. God bless you. And we will do it all over again on your favorite show, the Inland Sports Show. Good night, everybody.